Court does call the case of the people of the state of Michigan versus Theophilus Smith.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Vendel will bring back peace.
I will say the burden on behalf of
Your name, sir?
D'Angelo Smith.
Thank you. All right, date time set for preliminary examination. Are we ready to proceed?
People are prepared to proceed at this time, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, my understanding is that we can start, but it will not be able to conclude today. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. People intend to call Sergeant Crawford today as well as Officer Webb. People then be asking for continuance.
All
Your
right.
Honor, I was notified yesterday by Mr. Ganatra, the prosecutor's office, of the situation. Under other circumstances, I might have suggested that we wait and do everything at the same time, but given that Mr. Smith's been in custody for an extended period of time, I wanted to at least move forward today. Sorry, no objection.
All right, you understand that, Mr. Smith?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, all right. So you have a choice. I can either put it over to another day, we can do it all in one day, or we can start it today, but it will be adjourned out. They have notified me. All right, you understand that, sir?
Okay.
Okay. Let me call you first one.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, people will be questioning our witnesses. I will begin by calling Sergeant Crawford to the stand and Detective Hutchin will be present.
All right. Please come forward and be sworn.
Before you take a seat, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear in the affirmative testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Put down a seat. State and spell your first and last name for the record, please.
First name is Thomas, Thomas, last name Oliver, as in Frank, AUB as in Victor. You got it.
You may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Morning, officer. Sergeant, rather, excuse me. What is your occupation?
Police sergeant with the Ann Arbor Police Department.
And how long have you served in that capacity?
Sergeant for 1 year with the department for a total of 6.
And were you on duty on October 15th, 2023? And at that time, did you have occasion to be involved with an investigation regarding an incident at 727 Miller Avenue? And in what city is that located?
City of Ann Arbor.
And at that date, time, and location, did a defendant come to your attention? And that person was a suspect in an incident that you're investigating? And you see that person present in the courtroom?
That person would be in the orange jumpsuit here.
We'll stipulate, Your Honor.
All right, IDs.
Thank you. Sergeant, what was your role in the investigation?
On that date, I was the duty command sergeant at the desk at the office. Because of that, I have access to our Ocularis system. I was asked to assist in this particular case.
And what is the Ocularis system?
Ocularis is a video recording system that we have that has access to a number of city-owned buildings. We can do both live feeds and pre-recorded instances that we can view from our computers in the station.
And was there a video feed that was brought to your attention?
Yes, I was surprised that there may have been an incident that happened on the 6th floor. And I was asked by a couple of our officers if I could pull that video up to see if I could find out exactly what had happened prior to us getting there.
Did they inform you as to the nature of the alleged incident?
It was believed to be an assault. There was a female that was unconscious in the hallway.
Upon receiving that information, what did you do?
I logged into the Ocularis system, into the 6th floor cameras, which have views of basically like an exit to the elevator and both east and west hallways. So I began watching the feeds to find anything that occurred when I could locate the victim on the ground back to where the incident would have started.
Now, you referred to the victim. Would that be Abrea Phillips? Were you familiar with Ms. Phillips prior to the date of the incident?
I have had a number of contacts with Ms. Phillips in the past.
And this is the person that you're able, that is known to you?
Yes.
And you're able to identify this person when you see them? Did you review the footage that you've referred to? Did you determine whether there was evidence regarding any assault that was captured on the footage? Okay. And did you review all the footage that was available to you at the time?
Yes, everything from when the first contact involving both parties happened until the suspect went back into his apartment and continue to watch that until a light fed to ensure that he had not left the apartment prior to our officers getting there.
With respect to the build up to the incident, was that saved as footage as prelude to the incident by yourself?
Not by myself. He called in Detective Van Alstyne and he attached the video to the report.
Did you have occasion to review the video in question? Is it a fair, accurate, and complete depiction of the footage you viewed at the date and time of the incident?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, people would move to admit this video footage segment, prelude to incident, MM 6th floor east, based upon the officer's testimony as People's Exhibit 1.
Your Honor, I have been previously provided with a copy of that exhibit. Well, it wasn't an exhibit at the time, but with that video, I have no objection.
All right.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness with the footage on my left?
Yes, you can. How are you planning on viewing this?
I was going to display this on my laptop and then publish to the court, if that's acceptable. Or does the court have a preferred alternative?
Well, you can also hook it into the system so that everybody can see what's being played, because otherwise defense counsel doesn't, you're going to play something for defense counsel, they're not going to know what you're playing. I'm also not going to see it unless I stand. I mean, I can stand up and do that, but
I'm happy to accommodate the court. Yeah. That's unfortunate. There we go.
have it.
Sir, I'm now displaying on the courtroom monitor the footage that has been admitted as People's Exhibit 1. It has a caption of MM 6th floor East Hall 5, 2023-14 is the date. Do you recognize this footage?
I do.
And is this footage of the prelude to the incident?
Yes.
And with the court's permission, I'm going to play the exhibit.
Go ahead.
So at this point, we see two individuals who've exited an apartment. And there's a gentleman. Do you see a gentleman in a white shirt there on the video footage? Were you able to determine the identity of that person at a later point?
Yes.
And who is that person?
Yeah.
There's another party.
Sorry, Your Honor, I'm not sure I understood. The question was, were you able to determine at a later date? So he's not saying that you recognize him from the video, but based upon other information he obtained later. I just want to make sure that's what he's saying.
I'll ask to clarify.
Yes, go ahead and clarify that.
Sir, are you able to identify the person that we're viewing on the footage as the defendant in this case?
Yes.
And is that from examination of the footage and you're having seen this defendant?
Correct.
With regards to the other individual that this defendant is interacting with on the video, were you able to identify that person?
You're talking about the second male that's in the bottom right corner here?
I was actually talking about the person that the defendant is leaning towards in the doorway.
Then yes,
And who is that person?
that is Bria Phillips.
And you made that identification after viewing the footage?
Yes.
That's based upon your prior knowledge of that individual? May I continue, Your Honor?
You may.
So at this point, fair to say that the video shows the victim moving away from the defendant's apartment?
Yes.
We're able to verify the location that they emerged from as the defendant's apartment?
Yes, based on that and knowing the building, it's the first apartment after this entrance doorway on the exit side.
The footage now shows the victim appearing to approach the defendant's apartment again. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I believe at this point, the victim is exited off camera. Is that correct?
Your Honor, can you stop one second? Your Honor, I believe there is case law that says that it's not appropriate for either the prosecutor or a witness to narrate. The exhibit is the evidence. Now, for purposes of an exam, I'll be a little bit looser than I would at a trial, but
I understand what you're saying, and I'm not, I mean, I'm viewing the video and listening to the answers as opposed to the narration. But I understand that. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. For the record, I'm continuing to play the footage.
Yes.
Sir, you've seen the footage just now. Did you see someone exit from where you believe the defendant's apartment to be? Were you able to identify who that individual was after viewing the tape?
That would be the enforcement.
Thank you. I'm going to continue to play the footage.
You may.
Sir, we see a person coming back onto the camera.
Yes.
And does that person, do you know, from looking at the footage, where does it appear that person is moving back towards?
The original apartment that they exited from.
And would you be able to identify that person as well?
Yes, the same person, yeah, Will Smith, that's what we watched a lot of camera.
Your Honor, moving on to people's proposed 2. Sir, did you also view a segment of footage labeled as whole incident regarding this particular incident?
Yeah.
And did you have occasion to review it in its entirety?
Yes,
Is it a fair, accurate, and complete depiction of the footage you viewed on the date and time of the incident?
it is.
People move for admission of people's proposed exhibit 2, Your Honor.
Likewise with this, Your Honor, I was given a copy prior to the exam. I don't judge.
Exhibit 1 and 2 are admitted. If I didn't, go ahead.
I'm now going to play the footage. So I pause the video. Is the footage that you just watched a depiction of the assault that you indicated interviewing the video footage? Are you able to identify the victim of this assault?
Yes.
Are you able to review the footage to identify the defendant who committed this assault?
Yes. Yeah.
You have a brief moment, Ron?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further of this witness at this time.
All right. Cross-examination.
Sergeant, we saw the video, but we have not heard any audio. Do I take it there is no audio track on this?
I don't believe that these cameras carry audio.
Okay, so we don't know what, if anything, was being said by the 2 people who displayed in the video.
Not that
Let's go back a minute, not to what's on the screen right now. In the first video, there was a 3rd individual. We saw him come out of the apartment, go to another apartment, and looked like he was. Do we know who that individual is?
I do not.
That you did not recognize?
I do not.
Okay. But you did see on this video, Bria Phillips coming toward Mr. Smith in a somewhat aggressive manner. Is that true?
I saw them interacting together, yes.
Okay. And you do not know what she was saying or what she was doing.
I do not.
You indicated in your direct testimony that you had had a number of prior contacts, correct me if I'm wrong, with Bria Phillips.
Correct.
Okay, what was the nature of those contacts?
She's a regular person that is downtown. I worked a number of day shifts in my time here, and I've come across her just out on foot patrols randomly throughout the city.
Okay, anything to do with any arrests?
I can't recall if I have personally had an arrest with Bria Phillips.
And in those interactions that you have with her on those prior occasions, what was her demeanor? How was she acting?
Objection to relevance.
Overruled.
Thank you.
She was a substance user, an alcohol user as well, so it depended on the time of day.
Thank you for your candor. Appreciate it.
Good. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, you may step down. Thank you, Sergeant. You may take that down.
At this time, people like to call out the web.
All right, where are they? Please come forward to be sworn.
You raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. See, state and spell your first and last name for the record.
K.i.l.l.i.n.g.
All right, you may inquire.
Sir, what is your occupation?
Police officer.
With what department?
City of Ann Arbor.
And were you working as a police officer for the city of Ann Arbor on October 15th, 2023? At that time, were you dispatched to 727 Miller Avenue with regards to a possible assault investigation? And what happened once you arrived at that location?
Went to apartment 616, which is where the victim was at.
Were you able to identify the victim at that time?
Yeah.
What was her name? And did you observe Ms. Phillips at that location? And what did you observe regarding her condition?
She was laying on a couch. She had swelling on her face. She was bleeding on her mouth. She was unable to communicate with us. She was looking around a little bit, but.
And what did you do upon making these observations?
I flashed my flashlight on her to verify what I was seeing. And then I began asking witnesses in the apartment what they knew around.
Were you able to make any determinations based upon your conversations with those witnesses? And what did you determine?
Determined that assault occurred in the hallway of the 6th floor.
And once you made that determination, what did you do?
Somebody told me that the person who assaulted Rhea was inside of apartment 601.
Your Honor, I'm assuming it's not the truth that somebody indicated why he did what he did, so.
Yes, understood.
So once you received that information, did you take any action?
I knocked on the apartment door, 601.
And what happened at that point?
Somebody spoke through the door, but they didn't actually open it up and said they didn't know anything about what was going on. And they didn't consult.
And what action did you take?
I walked back to apartment 616.
And were you able to obtain a statement from the victim? And was that due to her condition at the time? What action did you take at that point?
Kept talking to the owner of apartment 616 and her female. She claimed that she was friends with the owner of apartment 601, who was supposed to be the suspect or where the suspect was.
And what did you do then?
She showed me his Facebook account and showed that he was currently on Facebook Live streaming like inside of the apartment.
And you received information that that was the person inside the apartment with whom you were communicating? And do you see the person from that live stream present in the courtroom today?
I did.
Could you point to him and identify an article of clothing that they're wearing?
This gentleman.
May the record reflect that this witness has identified the defendant?
Without objection, the record shall so reflect.
So once you saw this live stream, what action did you take?
So in the complex of 727 Miller, we can review camera footage from our department. So a couple of my bosses were reviewing the footage from the station and gave us an update of what the suspect looked like. And on the Facebook stream, he was wearing the same thing minus the hat. So myself, another officer, and a sergeant went back to 601, spoke with Mr. Smith. He agreed to come out of the apartment, waiting under arrest for assault.
And when you When he emerged from the apartment, did you identify him as the person you'd seen in the live stream? And at that time, you put him under arrest? Did you subsequently have an opportunity to review the security footage that was being viewed by the supervising officers?
I did not review the camera that captured it.
I would ask an opportunity to show this witness People's already admitted Exhibit 1.
Did he do? Got it?
For what purpose?
Yeah, he didn't review the video. So,
I'll move on, Your Honor.
pardon?
I'll move on.
Thank you.
No worries. Once you had placed the defendant under arrest, what actions did you take?
I drove him to the Amarillo Police Department where I confronted with him, Mirandized him, stated from him. After that, he complained of pain in his foot. So we went to St. Joe's Hospital because Rearfield was already at Eagle, so we just went to St. Joe.
Let me back up a little bit. You said that you'd Mirandized the defendant and made some statements to you. What, if any, statements did the defendant make to you at that time?
He said he was referring to Rearfield as he was making statements. He said that she came to his apartment asking for like something or something. I believe it's direct quotes that he used. And he said that she assaulted him first.
And what was your response to that?
I didn't review the video, so I couldn't as to what actually occurred in the hallway. So I just made note of it.
Did you observe any physical injuries on the defendant at the time that you're speaking with? Would refresh your recollection to review your police report? I'm going to show you page 5 of your narrative. I'm showing defense counsel on the question.
Yes.
Sir, I'd like you to quietly read this to yourself. Just review it and see if that helps you. Refresh your recollection. Please let me know when you finish. Did it help to refresh your recollection, sir?
Yeah.
Did you observe any injuries on the defendant at the time?
He complained to his foot.
To his foot.
And was this defendant known to you prior to the date of this incident?
I didn't know him directly. I had taken reports about him. People referring to him as like a nickname by his nickname. And I also took a welfare check, I believe. So, a day or two prior.
For an individual with the same name?
For an individual.
And was it the same apartment which this defendant exited? Thank you. May I have a brief moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
You indicate the defendant said that the victim assaulted him first, correct? When did you ask him how the victim struck him?
I did.
Do you remember what his response was?
Who was unable to give that response of how she struck.
Did he give you any information as to where you could find information about that?
That's true.
So he indicated knowledge of the cameras in the apartment building? Nothing further this witness, Your Honor.
Thank you. No questions? Thank you. Officer, thank you very much. May sit down. Any additional witnesses?
Not at this time, Your Honor. People are moving for a continuance for reasons discussed at the bench. I will approach the counsel.
All right. Testimony has been taken. This preliminary examination will continue on July 9th. My next available date, 2024 at 11 a.m. before me. Bond will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have the exhibits that were admitted as part of today's exam on a thumb drive, which I'm marking as people's.
And if you could provide that to my clerk, it would be great.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, earlier this morning, you called the case of People versus Howard Smith. He was not present. You issued a bench warrant.
I did.
I just got a text from him while we were doing this exam saying he's on his way. So if the court can.
Oh, joy. So he's just setting his own schedule?
Your Honor, it's very possible if the court recalls, when you called this case last time, He had left because he had a medical emergency. I presented proof of that to the court the day.
Yes.
So it's possible that he did not get the notice for this morning. That's all I'm going to say till he gets here. I'll take responsibility.
Oh, okay. So it's your fault. How's that sword feel in your chest that you just fell on? All right. Real good. We'll do that.
Anyway, once he gets here, I'll discuss it.
Okay, I don't know where the file is, but you say he's on his way. I'll try to have the file brought now. Okay, and we got a problem. So what are we going to do now?
Give you Miss Cannon's file.
Miss Cannon's file? No, we're not doing Cannon's file. I've been waiting on it all morning, but Miss Hughes isn't here and Cannon, no, I'm not talking to you. Not talking to Cannon. I'll do what Gaddy has, because I like Gaddy.
I don't think we have Miss Hughes.
Mr. Gaddy, what do you have, sir?
I have Chance Thomas, Your Honor, who reports he is on his way to court. He was on the 11 o'clock clock. Of which I don't really know.
There isn't one, but okay, so your client's on the way. Probably driving Mr. Goldstein's client, okay.
I believe the only other one that we have both sides of
Who?
is Diamond.
Okay, no,
All right, that's all I got.
I know, but why is Cannon still here? She had one case. One case. She's still here. What? And now, no, I'm not, no. What, who are you trying to blame? Who are you trying to blame, Miss Cannon? No, let everybody know. That sounded like blame. Just did. It really did. No, that's okay. You don't have to get up and try to find them, but do it. Okay, sit down. Just sit down. So Mr. Gaddy's waiting on his client. Mr. Goldstein's waiting on that client. We have Siren, we have Jolly, we have. They're coming back at 11. So other than that, that's why you're here. Okay, I don't like you either. So, okay, I do. I'll tell him. You're okay. But I think. So who else do we have in back? We have Styron, we have Jolly.
That's it.
So who's on the other side of Styron? Okay, that's his case. So, okay, I'll call that one in a minute. Let me take a brief break, deal with another issue that I have, and we'll come back and do that. Because we would be able to deal with Cannon's case, but she's just not ready. Court of State in recess.
All rise.
It's Cannon.
Be seated.
Court calls the case, People of the State of Michigan versus Laurel Howard.
Mr. Knotch, Senior Assistant Prosecuting Attorney for the People.
Mr. Brown, on the Howard matter.
We're ready in that matter. Lauren Brown, Deputy Chief Public Defender, opinion on behalf of Mr. Howard.
He's not here.
No, he's not.
All right. This is a request for an adjournment of the competency hearing. Is there no report? Is that the deal?
Actually, Your Honor, we do. We have two reports. One is from November from the Forensic Center, Dr. Portinga, and then Public Defender's Office engaged. Finished a report in May. So that was forwarded to my office, and I gave that to the Forensic Center. We were going to hold a competency hearing today, but it's my understanding that the public defender's expert witness had a conflict and was not available today. And I also told Mr. Brown that it's possible the Forensic Center might amend their report based on the IME report. So we would be asking for an adjournment.
We're joining that request, Your Honor.
Okay, and how much time are we looking at to accomplish that end or not? I mean,
You know, your staff had given us 2 dates in July.
They did. The 9th and the 30th. So which one would you like? You have a preference?
I don't, Mr. Brown. Either one works for us.
We'll go with the 30th, yeah.
I knew you would. July 30th, 2024, 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you. Court does call the cases of the people of the state of Michigan versus Joseph Taylor. If not sure, I think this is supposed to be Miss Hughes's case. My understanding is these are waivers.
I'm happy to stand in for Ms. Hughes, Your Honor.
All right. Go ahead, Mr.
Edward Lucas on behalf of Joe Taylor in each matter,
Joseph Taylor.
And he's waiving preliminary examination in both of these cases.
in both matters, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor, you're waiving your right to a preliminary examination?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that a preliminary examination is a proceeding where the people would have to show by probable cause that the offenses alleged were committed and that you committed them.
Yes, sir.
You understand you'll not have that hearing. You'll proceed to circuit court for further resolution.
Yes, sir.
All right. People also waive their right.
On behalf of people, yes, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Preliminary examination having been waived in both of these cases. Defendant is bound over in the case ending in 4-3 on count 1 with 2 following and on both counts in the other matter.
Your Honor, we acknowledge receipt of the information in both files. Stand mute and waive reading.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, court will enter a not guilty plea. Pretrial will be set for
July 22nd, at 1:30 before Judge Slade Monday.
July 22nd, 2024, 1:30, Slave Monday.
That's
Found continued. So they're bringing Mr. Smith up. Recalls the case of the people versus Theophilus. Yeah.
Joseph and on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
David I. Goldstein appearing on behalf of the defendant. Your Honor, after we commenced the exam earlier this morning, there was a break because we adjourned it. And I did have an opportunity to discuss the matter with Mr. Smith. He no longer wishes to continue the preliminary examination, he wishes to waive.
All right. Mr. Smith, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you do understand that you have a statutory right to have a preliminary examination and have it continue?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that the court, the people would be required to the court's satisfaction to show that there's probable cause to believe that a crime was committed and that you committed it. You understand that, sir? Do you understand that, Mr. Smith?
Excuse me.
Do you understand that if it were to continue, the court would have to make a finding that the people have shown that a crime was committed and that you committed it?
I understand, Your Honor.
And you understand that by not continuing, you'll not have that hearing, you'll proceed to circuit court on this matter.
That's it.
You understand that?
That's it.
Your Honor, we acknowledge receipt of a copy of the information. We waive its further reading. My client stands mute, asks that a not guilty plea be entered.
All right. People do also waive their
Sorry,
right.
Judge.
Yes.
All right. Preliminary examination having been waived, defendant is bound over to circuit court on the single count. Defendant having waived presentation, well, having been presented with the information waived its reading, standing mute to the charge, court will enter a not guilty plea. Pretrial will be set for
June 25th at 1:30 before Judge Conkey.
June 25th, 2024, 1:30.
Your Honor, the court has a copy of the information in its file.
Bond will continue. Court calls the case, people versus Chance Thomas.
Michael Gaddy, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Mr. Thomas, Your Honor. He is approaching.
Your name, sir?
Chance Thomas.
Thank you. What are we doing?
Your Honor, this time the people are not able to proceed.
Move to dismiss, Judge.
People being unable to proceed, this case is dismissed on the motion of the defendant. That's without prejudice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let's call the case, the people versus, is it Sheena Morris?
Stephanie Cannon with the Washington Public Defender's Office on behalf of Ms. Morris, who is standing to my right. Ms. Morris, could you please state your name for the record? Sheena Morris.
Thank you. What are we doing?
Your Honor, this time people are motioning to remand on, and orally moving to amend the complaint to an added count 2 of domestic violence.
You're adding a charge of domestic violence. That'll go to 14B District Court and dismissing count 1. I take that.
I'm unable to proceed on count 1.
Got it. As to the charge of domestic violence, you waive any further reading of the complaint in the case,
I would waive, Your Honor.
and your client will stand mute to those charges.
She will, Your Honor.
Court, defendant having stood mute to charges, court will enter a not guilty plea on the defendant's behalf.
Thank you, Your Honor. And just for the record, it's PAT code 750.812, which is a 93-day misdemeanor and
Fine, close court. Got it. You understand that, ma'am? Yes. All right, thank you. All right. I'll set a pretrial in this matter for
Monday, July 8th,
July 8th, 2024 at
I believe at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. before Judge Washington. Bond with its condition to continue. Court does call the case, people versus Howard Smith.
Mr. Sinatra, Senior Assistant Prosecuting Attorney for the People.
David I. Goldstein appearing on behalf of the defendant. Your Honor, Mr. Smith is now present in the court.
Nice of you to show up. Where were you?
I wasn't aware that I had a date till about 9-ish.
Really?
Yeah, as I explained.
So I need to provide transportation for you?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm just looking to help out if I have to. No? So I give you a time you're going to show up?
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Goldstein.
Your Honor, I discussed this matter with Mr. Ganatra based upon some conversations with waiving this time.
All right. Sir, you understand, that's correct, you're waiving your right to a preliminary examination?
Yes, sir.
You understand that a preliminary examination is a proceeding where the people would have to show by probable cause that the offenses alleged were committed and that you committed them?
Yes, sir.
You understand that you'll not have that hearing, you'll proceed to circuit court for further resolution. People also waive their right.
We do.
Preliminary examination, having been waived, defendants bound over to circuit court on both counts.
Your Honor, we acknowledge receipt of a copy of the information. My client waives its further reading and asks the court to enter a not guilty plea.
Defendant, having waived formal reading, standing mute, court will enter a not guilty plea. Pretrial will be set for
July 23rd at 1:30 before Judge Kunke.
July 23rd, 2024, 1:30. What date did I just give you in time?
July 24th.
No,
Seriously, man?
July 23rd, 2024.
Oh. July 23rd, 2024, 1:30, Judge Cookie.
Sure. Man, yes. Never mind.
I'm about to put
You're gonna mess it up. You're gonna mess it up. Bond will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court does call the case of the people of the state of Michigan versus Cody Jolly.
Good morning, Your Honor. Amy Reiser, appearing on behalf of the people.
State your name, sir.
Cody, Joe.
Thank you.
Your Honor, today is a time and date set for the preliminary exam in this matter, and one victim previously did attend court, but for whatever reason, I think it was a competency referral, and she is not back, and we are not able to proceed today.
All right. Mr. Jolly, you are representing yourself. I will certainly get counsel if you wish to be represented. However, what the people are indicating is that they're unable to proceed today. Are you moving to dismiss this matter, sir?
Yes, it is.
People being unable to proceed. This case is dismissed on the motion of the defendant. That is without prejudice. So that you understand, Mr. Jolly, what that means is that the case can be brought back up, but at this point, this case is going to be dismissed. Understand?
It's Heather on, I just want to remind you. Case being dismissed, I don't have Heather on. Case I do understand. How do we get this Heather?
You go over there and tell them that the case was dismissed. They'll look it up and then they'll take it off. Not that hard. All right. Just make sure that you go over there and do that, because then otherwise that's a whole nother charge.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jolly. Court does call the case, people versus Juan Thomas. Miss Akinruli, nice of you to show up like afternoon. We've been looking for you all day.
I was
Who's on the other side of this?
Ms. Hughes is good.
I can cover this.
No.
Nicole, on behalf of the people, I apologize.
And good morning, afternoon.
Yep, sure is. Go ahead.
Afternoon, Judge, Assistant Public Defender Chinazi K.i.l.l.i.n.g, on behalf of Mr. Juan Thomas. Mr. Thomas, could you state your name for the record, please?
Juan Thomas.
Thank you. All right.
Your Honor, today is the date and time set for preliminary examination in this matter. Mr. Thomas would like to waive his right to that exam and have this matter set for pretrial before the circuit court.
All right. Is that correct statement, sir?
Yes.
You understand that a preliminary examination is a proceeding where the people would have to show by probable cause that the offense alleged was committed and that you committed it.
Yes.
You understand you'll not have that hearing. You'll proceed to circuit court for further resolution.
Yes.
People also waive their right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Preliminary examination having been waived, defendant is bound over to circuit court. You,
We do, yep, we acknowledge receipt of the complaint, Your Honor. We waive formal reading of it, standing mute and asking the court to enter a not guilty plea on his behalf and setting this matter for pretrial.
defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, court will enter a not guilty plea pretrial and this matter will be set for
July 22nd at 1:30 before Judge Slay Monday.
July 22nd, 2024, 1:30, Slay Monday.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Bond will continue.